Hello, divine, beautiful souls. It's me again. It's Catriel. And I want to talk about a couple different topics this morning. So, as we're moving into the afternoon. So, yesterday I did my first YouTube live personally, and that was super fun. Um, I hope you liked it. And if you continue to like my content, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Getting used to saying all this stuff. Um, so let's get down to business. All right, we're here for the topic of Cancer energy that is connected to Cancer Week that we're moving into in the Zodiac Energy Empowerment series. Um, it is all about the moon. So Cancer is a zodiac energy, first of all. Its ruling planet is the moon. And within within these different concepts, Cancer plays around with intuition, divine feminine energy, um, staying more connected to the home, and nurturing energy. Also, taking time for yourself because it is connected also with the moon. It's bringing in this concept of cycles, and also within cycles, ritual, and also if we think about the moon, these cycles uh, have specific points on them. So we may be familiar with a full moon where, most of society thinks, things kind of freak out during that time. Well, it's because the moon is at its fullest point and it is potent. And so let's go back a little bit to the new moon. Everything that we put into the new moon um, is all about intention setting. And so when we put in that intention, that clear intention, we watch it evolve. Um, and we put a bunch of energy in. And so then for um, the full moon, we reap its benefits. Okay, it comes to a completion, and that's where we can evaluate where, like, maybe we need to change something within our intention. We acknowledge it at that point, and then we go into a more internal space, and then the entire thing repeats itself. And so we've been using this technique of following the moon for quite some time. If you've ever seen a farmer's almanac, that is one way we can see it in our society, that farming and fishing and haircuts and surgeries were all planned around this concept of the moon. In rabbinical Judaism, they have many discussions on why we cut our hair or do a surgery during that time, because it was said to have less bleeding at certain times and more bleeding at others. Well, we think about blood is fluid, and fluidity is also a connection to the moon, because the moon rules the tides. So if it's a full moon, it has more of a potential of more bleeding. Practical stuff, guys. It's quite interesting. And so we go and we're going to explore this topic this week of ritual, intuition, how do we connect, also the empath, and where do we need to connect to enhance our gifts, and where do we need to essentially pull back our energy, and how does one do that? Is there different types of empaths? We're going to explore all these different topics this week. And on Sunday, um, August 4th, I believe it is, 2024, we're going to be doing that empath class. And we're going to be talking all about those concepts through the lens of the zodiac. So we're going to look at empath skills based off of the zodiac and what's in your chart. And also, um, we're going to learn how to like shield ourselves as well, and what tools can be good for that. So then, we are going to, for the full moon, the new moon, we're going to be creating a ritual. The new moon uh, little event, if you're in the St. Pete area, weather pending, of course, we will be meeting at St. Pete Pier, and we'll be really talking about how to create a moon ritual, and then we're going to do it. And so that'll start at 8 p.m. and go to 9:30 p.m. So we'll get to see the light and move into the sunset and then go into the dark and really see, well, we won't really see the moon because it'll just be dark, because it's a new moon. But that'll be really fun. Then the other topic of discussion that I want to talk about that is relevant is, okay, we're in the season 1 of Leo right now. So let's bring in the current energies. We're also approaching Lion's Gate. And so a lion portal, it's this energy of creation energy, and the lion, and leadership. And remember, as the Leo, we're in Leo season through the lens of the sun. From the Earth's perspective, the Earth is actually in Aquarius. So we're going to be working with those energies as well this month, through this particular Leo season. And I like to call it Leo Aquarius season, because our grounding point, where we practically use our energy, on this earth, is actually going to be through the lens of Aquarius. We may shine and bring up concepts connecting to Leo through our expression and leadership and things like that. So you're going to see, leadership coming to the forefront. But what's going to be the dynamic here? So like, we have lots of different political races going on right now all over the world, but of course everybody's looking at America. But we're going to see these different concepts of leadership come up, and the discussion around it is going to be, how do we do this for the highest and best? Like, how is the world going to play a huge role in this? And that's more of Aquarian concept. And so it's going to be quite interesting to see those dialogues within the energy. And then we also have a Mercury retrograde coming up. Now, I am not your normal guy that will talk about Mercury retrograde from the perspective that it's been spoken about. I actually purely love Mercury retrograde. And I'm going to tell you why and how it can actually empower you. So, Mercury retrograde is all about communication. So, that being said, communication, we speak to one another, we do it through social media, and we can also telepathically. Okay. Now, here is my perspective on Mercury retrograde. Our creator created Mercury, created all these different planets to teach us something. And yes, Mercury can be a trickster, okay, from a perspective of lore, right? The lore of Mercury, but has this kind of Loki energy. But what we can take a look at is Mercury retrograde is an opportunity for us to do things differently. What happens is our normal way of communicating actually switches. So I'm just going to use this as an example, and it doesn't have to be straight up, exactly like this, but it's a example. Imagine if we actually communicated from a more divine masculine perspective, that we're outgoing, things like that. During a Mercury retrograde, we actually shift that and we become a little bit more internal. Okay. It's all about the concept of rewiring our brain a different way. Now, here's the clincher. We often see, because what happens is it appears that Mercury is going backwards. Okay. It's kind of like this weird illusion thing, right? But that means the energies are rewriting. We're rewriting the script a little bit. And we can use this feature. Like, a lot of people say, don't start something new during a Mercury retrograde. Well, if that's your belief system, fine, whatever. But what is really a huge thing is we have this opportunity to use ourself as the technology, which was its true purpose. Okay. Let's go back to, this concept of like what happened, um, like during Adam and Eve times or whatever, like before there was like a ton of people and technologies and things like that. Well, I really feel like our truest nature is when we're communicating, um, telepathically. And so we can actually say, oftentimes you'll see during a Mercury retrograde, you think of someone and bam, someone reaches out to you. And oftentimes in a past relationship or an old friend or something like that, right? Now, that's kind of where our brain is going from that. Now, let's actually place intention within a Mercury retrograde. What if we said, you know what? I really want to communicate with my fiance right now. And I say, I'm going to send her a mental note right now. And I wonder if she'll receive that. So if we can look at things from a playful perspective, unlike almost like a experiment, watch and see what happens. This is also not necessarily a communication with other people. It's with our creator. Like, say we're wanting to manifest something. Maybe we have that thought. And oftentimes when we let it go, we see something come up during this time like that. And I'm like, whoa, interesting, right? So this is a time to play around with energies from that perspective and realize that you actually can be empowered by this Mercury retrograde rather than feeling completely like trapped. And we should never feel that way. Truly. I feel like we're doing something, we're putting energy outside ourselves, when that happens. Now, yeah, there might be things in regards to technology that decides to fall short. But guess what? That's out of our control. But what we can control is our mind, our thoughts, and where we put our energy. And that is very important. So that is my little 2 cents in regards to the energies coming up. One, let's go back over this for a moment. We talked about Cancer energy and what's coming up in the Zodiac Energy Empowerment series. And then that we're going to be doing an empath class, as well as a moon ritual in person, and weather permitting, we will get online if for some reason that is disrupted. We talked about the new energies coming through as we are in Aquarius. I'm sorry, as we are in Leo season, we're also dialoguing with the Aquarian energy because of its earth sign. And then we also talked about the Lionsgate energies and how powerful that portal can be, as well as the perspective we hold on Mercury retrograde. If you like this video, again, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it. I love you all, divine, beautiful souls, and I hope you have a beautiful day and Shabbat Shalom.